Down, 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 down. So today we're talking about just making a connection to inefficiencies in the marketplace, connecting market makers and the predictions markets with options, connectivity to the artificial intelligence, capabilities to be able to predict in the prediction markets. Yeah, what am I even talking about? Welcome to the news. Stay to the end to find out how we get there. More or less, the prediction markets have to do with predicting, developing predictions, making options predictions on things happening in the future. And there's a new marketplace kind of coming to fruition, like Kalshi and Polymarket and this type of brands of predictions market, which are also spreading into Coinbase and past marketplaces to be able to develop a new sort of predictions marketplace. But there's inefficiencies in these marketplaces, and ultimately, if you're leveraging artificial intelligence, which is computing a lot of things oftentimes on a consistent basis, and these two things have differentiations. They have two operating systems. They have two different programs, processes for coming up with different conclusions for different conceptual potential results of different items that are being looked at through two different lenses necessarily. One of them is a market maker. One of them is a market maker such as Kalshi and so that market maker is developing predictability and probabilities based on conceptual end results regarding a potential result that is being bet on by the community within Kalshi, and that therefore determines the probabilities that are relating to the bets and the odds that correspond to the bets within Kalshi at any given time regarding the payout structure, corresponding to which outcome of usually two outcomes has the highest potential or probability for the outcome to result in a winner, in a winning person, or a winning situation out of two people, out of two competitors, for example. So all I'm trying to say is leveraging artificial intelligence makes a new computer, a new development concept where there's a differentiation in terms of a way to acknowledge or the potential for different outcomes to occur through different data crunching sets and different conceptual ways of finding inefficiencies to be able to even scan all the available conceptual bets and set up a bot, like an options trading bot within artificial intelligence, having artificial intelligence scan for those specific inefficiencies that it specifically disagrees with, because it has maybe a deeper thinking mechanism, a deeper engine, a deeper way to find deeper analysis that corresponds to the inverse, meaning the opposite. It finds more like asymmetric risk, meaning a higher risk-reward probability within the AI artificial intelligence, high, smartness, for lack of better words, high ability to think deeper, and finds specifically when being prompted inefficiencies in the predictions markets to be able to just more or less try to focus on finding ones that have inverse value, meaning that they offer a higher probability on things that are actually a higher probability of winning on things that actually have a higher probability of losing, and then vice versa. So the things that have a lower probability of winning, which then also pay out higher if you bet on them, that are actually in the eyes of the artificial intelligence, they're the inverse, and the artificial intelligence decides that they are the higher probability of winning. So to take those types of bets, to take those types of risks, to take and use the predictions markets to look through and use artificial intelligence as an engine to scan through and consistently try to find those opposite inverse inefficiencies in the predictions markets is what is the suggestion in today's podcast, more or less, to use and make an artificial intelligence trading robot that corresponds to the predictions markets to try to find the opposite, the inverse, that actually corresponds to the engine related to things such as Grok, which is a very powerful artificial intelligence by our Elon Musk and Twitter, and then also connecting that with the predictions markets and all of the engines which run the deep analysis corresponding to the probabilities for every outcome connected to the predictions markets that have a payout structure connected to and attached to those probability structures that are yielding whatever the outcomes are, that have a payout structure attached to them within the Kalshi markets and Polymarket markets, and also Coinbase is getting into predictive markets as well. And I think it's even more uniquely aligned for developing bots, artificial intelligence bots, to connect to the crypto markets also, because those are 24/7, and it's also like hopefully deeper analysis to connect with those ongoing number crunching systems like in the crypto world, whereas the non-crypto world tends to have a less 24 hours and 7 days a week sort of a situation. So nonetheless, that's all for now. That's all we were just trying to talk about, is trying to find the inverse so that the odds of actual success correspond to finding bets that have a lower probability to win, similar to options trading, so that you can try to nail out and nail down the potential for a higher probability on a lower probability trade, a higher probability to win on a lower probability win trade on the predictions markets, so that in essence you're rewarded for more or less finding and acknowledging these lower percentage win rates, and you get a higher percentage payout than usual for acknowledging those lower percentage conceptual potential wins by acknowledging them with the artificial intelligence, and then just trying to get paid more on a consistent basis based on, looking for these like cracks in the marketplace, and the cracks in the market makers and the market, the probability makers and their engines, however they decide, however they decide using artificial intelligence to try to find the opposite. So like options trading, you're trying to find the options with the highest value potential, but in the predictions markets, and leveraging a way to try to develop your own predictions markets through using the same sort of robots, or the same sort of data, robot trade making potential bot, or developing this kind of a system, or just having the AIs search for this kind of specific opportunities in the marketplaces to try to make money with that mindset. And that's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye. Sorry if it actually kind of sounded more complicated than it actually is. It's just trying to find weaknesses and inefficiencies in the predictions markets, like options trading, but using the AI basically just to do the heavy lifting. That's basically it. That's all I was saying, actually, after all. Anyways, that's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye. And let's all remember to push for world peace every single day. Let's all remember to push for world peace every single day. Let's push for world peace every single day. And also, let's remember to try to clear the animal shelters. Let's clear all the animal shelters in the world. Let's clear all the animal shelters in the world, because we can foster all the shelter animals. We can adopt all the shelter animals in the world. We can rescue all the shelter animals in the world. And we can also hire the shelter animals as healers. We can also hire the shelter animals as healers all throughout the world, so that they don't have to be mistreated in animal shelters. And we can clear the animal shelters, and we can hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities. Hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities, because they also work for free, and they could use better purpose and use better jobs and be able to add value and be therapeutic energy for humans and humanity, to help us be more harmonious as humans and among humanity for all the animals in the world, to clear all the animal shelters, to try to get them to transition their energy in terms of therapeutic energy to all humans, so we can clear the animal shelters to add value to humanity in terms of harmony if possible. And let's push for world peace every single day and clear the animal shelters every day. That's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.